All right, so this quiz is about slope-intercept form. That's not what the quiz is called. It's called Equations of Lines, Part 1. So it deals with slope-intercept form, though. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope of the line. Okay, and b is the y-intercept. All right, so we're going to run through a few examples where we need to identify the slope and the y-intercept of the line given to us. So given, and it will be worded about like this: what is the slope of the line described by the equation below? So given this equation, y equals 3x plus 5, we are asked to find our slope. And our slope is always the coefficient of x. And in this example, it is 3. So in our second example, y equals 1/2 x minus 2, the coefficient of x is 1/2. So that is our slope. And here our slope is negative 17/3. Good, you can still see that. Okay, this is an interesting example. We have y equals negative x plus 8. So our slope is the coefficient of x. The only thing that looks like is in front of x is a negative, but that wouldn't make sense. So there's really a 1 there. We just don't bother writing it. So our slope is negative 1. So let's identify our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is what is being added or subtracted from our x term. So b, in this first example, is 5. 5 is being added. In our second example, 2 is being subtracted. So our y-intercept is negative 2. So the negative comes down because of the subtraction. Here we are adding 100. And here it is 8. Whoops. Okay, so that is how we identify the slope and y-intercept given an equation. Again, this should all be review for you. Hopefully, it is ringing a bell. Okay, so let's try some different examples. If we are given the graph of a line, you will have quite a few of these. So we are given the graph of a line, something like that. And we are told on this graph that our y-intercept is 0, negative 5. So this is the y-intercept right there. And that our slope is 3. We'll say slope is 3. Okay. All of this information is given, so you have this beautiful picture to look at. And then in the picture, it will say y-intercept equals 0, negative 5, and slope equals 3. We want to write our equation. So y equals the slope times x plus the y-intercept. In this case, our y-intercept is negative 5. We're just going to go for the y value. So we are subtracting 5. Okay, that is true for any example. So let's change this out. The picture of our line will not be accurate. I'm going to do something quite a bit different. Let's say that it looks like this. Okay, so in this case, our y-intercept is 0, 4, and our slope is negative, we'll say 2/3. So what is our equation? It's y equals the slope times x, and then our y-intercept is 4. This right here is a value of 4, so we add 4 on the end. And that is the Equations of Lines Part 1 quiz.